So last time we talked about Matthew chapter 26, I was talking about how Judas betrayed Jesus. Now I'm going to discuss the rest of the chapter. In verses 17 through 30, Jesus celebrated the Passover meal with the disciples. He also predicted his betrayal. He identified Judas as the betrayer and instituted the Last Supper, which symbolized his body and blood given for the forgiveness of sins. Now, in verses 31 through 35, Jesus tells his disciples that they will desert him. Peter declares he will never deny Jesus. But Jesus predicts Peter will deny him 3 times before the rooster crows. Now, we see in verses 36 through 48, Jesus prays in deep anguish here in these verses. He's asking the Father to remove the cup of suffering and ultimately submits to God's will. Now, his disciples, who are unable to stay awake, they failed to support him during this crucial moment. So, in verses 47 through 56, Judas arrives with the crowd and betrays Jesus with a kiss. Jesus is then arrested, but he remained chill the whole time, and then he was taken to the high priest's house where false witnesses accused him. When asked if he is the Messiah, he affirmed it, which led to his condemnation for blasphemy. As we end the chapter in verses 69 through 75, Peter followed Jesus from a distance, but denies knowing him 3 times. And then after the rooster crowed, Peter remembered what Jesus told him and broke down in tears. You know, as I study this chapter, I feel like we all need to be reminded to reflect on Jesus' sacrifice with gratitude and live a life that honors him. Don't fall asleep like the disciples did. Stay spiritually alert through prayer, especially during difficult times, so we can stand firm in our faith. We need to trust God, knowing his plan is perfect and his purposes will prevail. We should really examine our hearts for areas where fear, greed, or pride might lead us away from Christ. And remember, when we fail, turn back to God in repentance. He is faithful to forgive, and he restores us. This whole chapter challenges us to really live with gratitude for Jesus' sacrifice. We need to be vigilant in our prayer life and have faith. Have faith, y'all, and trust in God's plan. It reminds me of human weakness, but also of God's grace and his redemption. So join me next time as we cover chapter 27 of Matthew. It's been great going through this chapter. Can't wait till we continue on in the book of Matthew. 2 more chapters to go. We'll see you next time. Follow, give it a like, give it a comment. But beyond all, God bless, and I will see you next time.